Okay, so today we are going to study about IAM, or we can say Identity and Access Management in AWS. As per AWS, it is a web service that helps you to securely control access to AWS resources. Now, what does this mean? So, in my words, AWS IAM or Identity and Access Management is just about two things: identity and access. And what we need to understand is what is identity and what is access. So, if we are creating a user or if we have somebody who is going to take access of the resources of the devices inside AWS, then that ID and password will make an identity. Access means what level of permissions you are providing to that person so that that person would be able to do a certain specific level of task. So in short, IAM is going to provide us the facility of managing identities and providing access to the identities. Now, identities are not just only user IDs or users. Identities will also be made of the accesses we provide. So it is not only limited to the users we are creating inside our account, it is also making sure that one service would be controlled or would be only provided specific level of access over another service. So let's see what IAM has to deliver. We will go to the search bar and look for IAM. We also have another way of accessing IAM that would be under services, and we will look for security, identity, and compliance. Here we go. So inside security, identity, and compliance, we have IAM. Let's click on it. Okay, so this is IAM dashboard. What we can see here. On the left side, we have multiple options for user groups, users, role policies, identity providers, and many more. On the right side, there are few security recommendation. It says add MFA for root user. We will talk about it later. What else we have? We have few resources, IAM resources. Currently, we have one user group, 5 users, 2 roles, no policies, and no identity providers. So when we are talking about identity, identity is all about these things. Let's try to create one user in IAM. Currently, I have few users already created. Let's see what is the process of creating a new user. From the right side, we can click on add user and this window will appear. Here, we will need to add the name for the user. I'm giving it a name, let's say Mark. Now, to provide the user, we have two different types of AWS credentials. One is access key, other one is password. Now, what is the difference between both of them? Access key is a way of providing access to the user so that user won't be able to see any graphical user interface or any GUI for my account. User will only be able to take access of my account and the devices and the services inside it with the help of a specific CLI tool. It could be your Windows tool or it could be a Linux tool also. So access key will provide only the CLI access. It is also mentioned down here, enables an access key ID and secret access key for the AWS API, CLI, SDK, and other development tools. So simply it is just a set of access key ID and secret access key, which will help you out accessing the account and the services of it from a CLI tool or from a CLI screen only. The other option which says password or AWS Management Console access will give us the facility to provide the user an access of this account in a GUI way, the way we are accessing it. So if we provide password to user, user would be able to see each and everything graphically, would be able to log into the account and will be able to do the things which we will allow the user to do. Further going on, for the password, we have two options. One is auto-generated password, other one is custom password. So it is simple. Auto-generated simply means that there would be an automatically generated password provided to the user. Custom password means you can actually provide a password for this user. Let's give a specific password for this user. I will give it like now. There is a specific password policy which we will actually be understanding in the future. But yeah, we can specify the password policy, what should be included, what should not be included inside the password. Okay. Further going on the bottom we have another option which says require password reset. So now, whenever user is going to log in to this account, there would be one option for the first login that user will need to change the password, and only after changing the password user will be able to log in. That would be enabled if we keep this check here. If we uncheck this, this password will be applicable forever. If we check this, user will need to change the password on the first login. I'm keeping it in check so that we will be able to see this option. Okay, I will go down and click next for the permissions. Okay, on the next screen, we can see there are three options to provide permission to the user. One is add the user to a group. Second one is copy permissions from an existing user. Third one is attach existing policies directly. So we will be talking about these three things in the further lectures. Currently, we will not be doing anything. We will just click next. But yeah, we have two more options down here. Let's talk about these also. There is one specific group already created. So if we wish, we can add user to this group. And we have set of permission boundaries. So if you want to permit a specific access or specific permission to the user, you can provide it. And you can also provide a specific boundary inside that permission also. Let's see it later. Let's click on next. And we have a very important or very specific option here, which is tags. Though it is completely option, it is not mandatory to put a tag. But I would recommend to always put a tag here so that you would be able to provide information to others and you would always remember why you created this user for. A tag will always have two options or two sections into it. One is key or that is keyword. Other one would be the value. So keyword would be just the name and value would be the value of it, like name, and we can say XYZ, or maybe let's give the name Mark as we provided. The limit for adding the tags is 50 per service. So in one service, you would be able to only add 50 tags, not more than that. Tags are actually very important in perspective of looking for information or providing information to other users. So always provide specific tag. I would change the spelling of the name, or you would think I don't know the spelling. Okay, so further going on, I will click on next and we are on the review screen. Here we can actually review whatever is done or whatever options we selected. Here we will take a look at the options we selected, though there were not many. So we can actually click on create user here and it will start creating the user, start making the options we selected as a policy, and it would be delivered within few minutes. So the user is created and we are notified that you have successfully created the user shown below. You can view and download user security credentials. You can also email user instructions for signing into AWS Management Console. This is the last time these credentials will be available to download. However, you can create new credentials at any time. Users with AWS Management Console can sign in at this URL. So we are going to copy this URL. I will also show you how you can see this URL inside the user. So we will scroll. Okay, there is no option there. Yeah, there is an option which says close. So I will click on close and let's see if it takes us back to the user. Okay, it is not. So I will go back to, okay, before doing that, I will try to download the CSV because it will have the credentials for the user. Okay. Okay, so we are back on the screen of users, and down there we can see that there was one user created for us. Mark is here. If we click on Mark, it would show us some details about the user. Okay, so these are the details of the user. Here you can see whatever the permission provided, what are the groups included, what tags we provided to the mark, security credentials for mark, and access advisor. For the time being, we will be getting on to security credentials only. And under here or inside the summary, we have an option which says console sign-in link. If we copy it and try to access it in any other web browser, I will not be using the same web browser. I will be using another, maybe in private window. So if we use that URL which we just copied, it should be taking us to the login window for the user. Okay, because I was using the same web browser, I was logged out from my account and I am asked to reload. Okay, let's see if it opened or okay. So username was Mark and this was the password. Okay, and this is the account ID or the 12-digit account ID under which the mark was created. So we need to understand Mark is a user under my account. So Mark will be considered as IAM user. It will not be the root user of the account because I created Mark as an IAM user under my account. So Mark will be an IAM user under this account ID. Okay, so let's try to sign in. And we landed on to the screen. Now this screen is showing us the option I was talking to you about previously. We have this option which says you need to change your password. We need to enter the old password. It would be, okay, I have entered my old password and I will need to enter a new password here. Okay, I've entered the passwords. Then we can click on confirm password change and we are logged into the account. So let's see if we are able to do anything in the account. Let's get to IAM here also and see if all the options in IAM are visible to us or not. Okay, click on IAM and we are on the IAM dashboard. Because we did not provided any permission to this user, we are not able to see anything here. You can see there is no option. There is nothing working for me here. Even if I click on users and try to create, okay, I'm not getting the options. So this is the purpose of, or this is the way we can create a new user in IAM or a new IAM user in AWS. In the next lecture, we will talk about how we can create a group of users and add permission to the group and provide permissions to the user. There is a question for all of you. In the comments, please let me know what is the difference between identity and access, and we will discuss the answer also in the next lecture. Thank you. Bye bye.